watch a movie that you love, but a much uglier, more boring version. And that's what The Lion King 2019 is.
Totally believed this Hamlet with lions like I never did before. You're supposed to be seeing some kind of emotion on one of the lions, but you're just seeing this. It's
Their
more
version.
realistic.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah.
It's the circle.
The circle of squiggly.
It's the circle. The circle of Ziggy. Surprised she's staying here, honestly.
Yeah, she's so surprised by getting Lion King. She doesn't know what to do.
She's in shock. Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about The Lion King 2019!
My God!
Boy, we're reviewing this out of obligation.
Look, the sequel was really bad, but we can't talk about the sequel until we talk about the first one. And the first one
Is utterly pointless.
The first one is Kimba, and then King 1994.
Simba.
You must avenge my death, Kimba. I mean, Simba. Luke, I am your father. This is CNN.
And then there's 94, and then there's all the other sequels, and then we get to this. The most pointless remake of all time, outside of maybe the Psycho remake, but the Psycho remake at least had some interesting choices. Alright, well.
Points of
Someone doesn't like being held.
Oh, someone doesn't want to be in the Lion King video.
She'll get treats, she's fine.
What could you possibly offer us?
A place where you can fill your bellies.
Points of this is like you're watching a CG recreation of a nature documentary with some Lion King music over it. Like, why is that happening?
Yeah. See, a lot of people call this the live-action Lion King remake because this is, within a slew of live-action remakes that they've done, but it's not really a live-action film.
You can't call it that.
We wanted to show, using the techniques that I'll talk about later, a virtual camera, that we could create something that felt more like a documentary. We wanted this thing to feel not like an animated remake, but as though it were a live-action production, even though clearly everything's animated here.
I mean, it's easier than saying, like, photorealistic recreation.
No, I just call it the 3D animated remake.
It's not my 3D animated remake. The only 3D animated remake of The Lion King I'm interested in is the one on YouTube where they do the really bad CG. And then his neck get burned.
If the whole movie is done like that, then there'd be more point to it than what they've done here.
I did laugh pretty hard when Mufasa died in this, though. Because you see a realistic lion like... and
with the unemoting lions.
Yeah, there's no emotion on there, but also, like, none of the filming is like that, except, like, in that moment where they're like, because they're doing like they do in the animated movie.
They're copying the original shot, where a lot of this doesn't do that. Instead, they opt for a lot of far shots where it just kind of feels flat. It's so poorly done in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the animators on this film, because there's an extraordinary amount of work put into this. So I get why they were nominated for an Oscar for the effects in this, but to what end? They could have made such a beautiful movie that wasn't based on a pre-existing property.
Then you wouldn't have these direct things to compare it to, because you know all the dynamic shots they did in the original 2D animation, and you're thinking about those, but then you see something that just kind of holds on lions, which are not emoting, so everything is working against this.
Yeah, it's a story that really requires a lot of emotion. They kind of limited themselves by doing this because they want the lions to be realistic, but this is a story that doesn't suit that very well. It reminded me of that CG movie Dinosaur that they did way back when, which was very technically impressive at the time, but it was so boring to look at. Was it a good movie? I don't think so. I mean, it had more integrity than this, but it was just a lot of like beige and browns, and it was really boring.
But thick as you are, pay attention.
feel like a lot of the time, too, when you're hearing the original dialogue being said in this movie, it feels like they're almost on a speed run to get through it. Like, all right, and then this line, this line, this line, without having little beats the original had, so it has a bit more impact. You're just like, okay, yeah, I remember those lines.
Tell them who is responsible for Mufasa's death.
I am.
It's not true. Tell me it's not true.
It's true.
It was me.
It's not true. Tell me it's not true.
It's true. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they're also really hampered by the fact that it's a remake, so they're trying to say the same lines or the same gist without doing the same performance because they want to make their own stamp on it. But the thing that happens when you're doing that is you get these kind of off deliveries that maybe aren't the strongest because they're trying to make them different.
It doesn't matter. Hakuna Matata.
What?
None of it matters, okay? Hakuna Matata.
What?
Look, sometimes bad things happen.
Simba!
And there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry?
You see, sometimes bad things happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry?
It's just really stupid. We need to be more realistic, but also, like, lions are not going to have team-ups with hyenas and destroy the ecosystem.
Have, like, clouds in the sky with Ghost Dad.
Yeah, but you can't do that ghost because, it's realistic other than it actually forming a lion head in the sky. He can talk to him, but he can't form a lion head out of the clouds. Boy, I'd be taken out of the realism of this movie if that happened.
But then these cloud sims and the lightning, and how literal would you make it? Because when you look at the original, trying to draw inspiration, it was really like glowing, a lion sitting up there with beams of light coming out of them. It felt too stylized for us. I think it was done tastefully.
They were trying to make it more realistic, but they still kept in the fact that he, killed the ecosystem when he took over. Why does the ecosystem die? He overhunts, but why does it kill all of the grass? Yeah. Why does the landscape and the weather change? I don't understand that.
We just have to imagine there's a missing scene where Scar gets visited by a time-traveling hoggish creature. He's like, I made this deal with this stupid man who said he wanted to dump toxic waste by Pride Rock. I was like, excellent. He's like, I time traveled to do this. I'm like, wow, that's the most useless use of time travel ever.
Shake my power.
But realistically, you'd think if he is overhunting too, that he's killing all the plant eaters, so it should be overgrown.
Yeah.
Whatever, Scar. You and your pollution.
You're overhunting, Scar.
I've simply perfected the kill.
It was really realistic when Scar was holding Mufasa on the cliff and then his head went knocked him, the king. And then he rolled.
The real giraffe lions.
No!
It was really funny, too, when they're doing, I can't wait to be king, and the giraffes are raising their head like the original. But you think about how the original version of that song went with all the bright colors, it kind of looking crazy, and then you get this, some lions running around, some giraffes drinking water, I guess. It's more realistic.
I will say, their version of I Just Can't Wait to Be King was a lot better than Kim Kardashian's kid when she sang it during that performance. It was real bad. I'm sorry. It wasn't good. The thing about trying to do realistic lion expressions too, man, there's so many scenes where shit happens, you're supposed to be feeling something deep about what's going on, and you just have this blank lion face.
You start laughing at some of the things where, you're supposed to be seeing some kind of emotion on one of the lions, but you're just seeing this.
Oh no, my dad's dead.
Remember when Simba throws Scar's words back at him and he goes,
Tell me what you want me to do.
Run. Run away and never return.
Yes.
And again, really no emotion in the face, which is counterintuitive if you're doing a film like Lion King, where you want the animals to express a lot of emotion. And so it fell upon the voice cast to bring a lot of performance through and emotion through their voices. And also the camera work. And so even though there's no expression on Scar's face, you definitely read a lot into what he feels about his little nephew.
They had the sex eyes, but there was no sex eyes.
Yeah, you can't have lion sex eyes. They don't even have lion penises in this movie, so... instead of sex in the sky, you need no sex.
Yeah, they were like, we're not going to include the lion penises. They're just genitalless lions in this. And then no sex was spelled out in the sky because, we can't show that. We can show blood on the mouth, but heaven forbid someone see a lion penis, which a child could see at the zoo if they wanted to.
One day, you will be married. To each other.
Ew!
We had to get the close-up of Nala here. There you go.
Apparently, Be Prepared was too scary for the original cut of this movie, and they had to be, pushed into even including any version of it.
Yeah, basically Jon Favreau, out of spite, was like, sure, I'll just last minute put this song in there because people bitched about it.
And now we get into Be Prepared. This was a song that we really wrestled with, but to have Scar break into song and sing it, and if you look at the original lyrics, it doesn't really fit with the way we've conceived the story this time. And so first it was a monologue that was written, and then we started to say, well, could we do this with the song? It feels like the old Be Prepared, but if you look in the credits, you'll see it's actually Be Prepared 2019 version.
If you take out Be Prepared, that's the villain song. Yeah. That's Scar's big song. He's the antagonist
declaring his
of the
intentions
film.
to take over.
So it seems really weird to take that out and replace it with nothing. There was no other song there. They showed the hyenas fucking eating Scar alive, but oh no, Be Prepared was too dark of a song, and that's why we can't have it in here. But just kidding, we will, but we'll just do like a short half-ass version of it.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Be prepared! Be prepared!
They added some other songs into this because inevitably with these remakes, they have to add one original song so they can have it. Yeah, so that it could be like nominated at the Oscars or whatever. I don't think it was nominated. I think they wanted it to be.
That song is so jarring because it's the only song that's not sung by the characters.
Yeah, Beyonce starts singing a song, and then all of a sudden, like, it's not characters singing, even though she voices Nala, because they were like, we don't know at this point in the story why Nala would be singing this power song, so we're just gonna play it over them running.
I feel like they could have wrote that in a different way to have Nala there singing about Spirit to Simba to make it make some kind of sense, but instead they're like, nah, it'll just be the one song that's not sung by characters.
Yeah, they had some other original songs added to this, but they weren't that great. But they sure like playing them at that concert that I was just talking about. They were like, look, the classic songs of the Lion King franchise.
We got some of the original and some of the remake people.
Yeah. It was real weird going from some of these people to the other one. Not because it was different, but because it was just an odd choice. Like, okay, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa kind of makes sense, but then also when you look at the songs that Pumbaa is supposed to perform in this, and you compare it to Ernie Sabella, his performance, which is a really powerful voice, to like Seth Rogen, who admitted like it was really impossible to get one fucking good note out of him.
When I was a young warthog! When I was a young warthog!
How you feeling?
It's an emotional story. I didn't know if all the songs from the original were gonna be in this. They were, and I was like, I can't sing. I want them to count how many times I've tried to record that one line, it ain't no passing craze. It ain't no passing craze. I bet it's in the thousands. This is already the most embarrassing experience.
We'll include the farts though. Pumbaa can say fart now, so the kids will laugh.
That's how hardcore this went.
Kids will laugh at the farts. And boy, did they.
And I got downhearted every time that I farted. Are you gonna stop me?
No, I'm not. Hakuna Matata.
I love a good flatulence joke. And we had them sing farted. I thought that 2019, we could say farted. Kids are ready. They're mature now. With the internet, they know what farting is.
And then you end up with like a lot of speak singing songs, and it turns into Shatner quite a bit. It did in the Be Prepared also.
That was so just Shatnerized. Be prepared.
Yes, my teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Be prepared!
You're saying too, like, they didn't think the guy who did Scar in this one could sing that well. There's also an issue with Jeremy Irons at parts of it, which is why they had Jim Cummings dub in some parts of the Be Prepared song.
Yeah, part of the song is Jim Cummings, and it blends in seamlessly.
Prepare for
the chance of a lifetime.
Be prepared. Be king undisputed, respected, saluted. Be prepared.
But that's what you do with voice acting. There's been plenty of movies where they have more famous actors doing the regular voice, but the singing voice, they bring in someone who's better at singing. And they could have done that here, but they didn't.
Yeah, it's funny because that concert you're bringing up where they had Jeremy Irons do Be Prepared, he just didn't go nearly as high as that part in the song.
Yeah, he did perform the song. It's just there were some notes they thought he wasn't very strong on, so they redid it. But he could do a version of the song, I guess.
He just kept it in a different key, basically.
My tastes and ambitions are bad. Be prepared.
I mean, they even brought back the same composer they used for the original Lion King, Lee Boehm. He's really talented, but man, is it wasted on this. There's a lot of talent wasted. There's like so much money and time spent on what?
So you can watch a blander version of a movie you've already seen.
Now, this is the place you're fighting for?
Is it behind that terrifying rock?
I like what you've done with it, although a bit heavy on the carcass.
So the runtime of this is around 2 hours, but that's if you include the credits. If you don't, it's only slightly longer than the animated film, but boy, does it feel way longer than that.
Yeah, it's mostly taken up, I guess, by holding on emotionless lions and stuff, because a lot of the dialogue feels sped through, which is strange, because then, I guess, just lingering nothing.
It's kind of like when Star Trek The Motion Picture just like was on the shot of the ship because they wanted to show off the effects, but it was super boring.
There were them staring out the window at random special effects that barely mean anything.
James Doohan falling asleep watching it the premiere.
I fell asleep. Bill Shatner fell asleep. My wife kept nudging me, and saying, come on, wake up, and everything else. I said, hey, it's boring, honey.
I felt like it took 2 hours just to do that shot of the lion fur, the circle of life, right? Like this lion fur is in the water, and then a bird picks it up, and then they use it for a nest, and then it falls down on a leaf, and then a giraffe eats it, and then the giraffe poops it out, and then a dung beetle takes the poop over there, and the poop breaks, and then the fur flies over to the dumb baboon over there. Rafiki, he picks it up, and then he smells the poop, and then he falls off the branch.
Here's Rafiki in this movie. Huh?
Perhaps you are familiar with the greatest viral video of all time, monkey smells finger and falls out of tree.
No, I've never seen.
Monkey! No one's gonna find that funnier than you do, Phelan. Stupid baboon.
He smelled his finger. Then boom. Smell.
Rafiki. Get out of here.
It's like, do you want to watch a movie that you love, but a much uglier, more boring version? And that's what The Lion King 2019 is.
It's the circle of who cares, and it bores us all.
I think there was one genuine laugh we got out of this. I mean, aside from laughing at Mufasa dying, that was pretty good. But like an intended comedic moment when Simba's trying to play with that antelope and then like he runs away and like, what's up with that guy?
Yeah.
What about
that? Simba, it's you. I thought it was a lion. A real lion. I'm gonna go.
Hey, where you going? What's up with that guy?
Donald Glover knows how to do comedy, but he wasn't able to do that much comedy in this. But his voice sounded good. He could sing. That was good.
And there we go. Oh, now I know I'm okay. Whenever I'm watching a screening, I know when I hear Donald Glover sing this, I know I'm good now.
A lot of this movie is just hampered by the fact that there's a better version that already exists called The Lion King.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a lot of the more emotional moments, aside from the lions looking like a blank slate, the camera work, too, there was a lot of stylistic choices in the animated film that really brought the story to life that you lose here. Like, when you get the scene in the elephant graveyard, there's so many dynamic shots in the animated version that really made you feel the tension, even though these were a lot more comedic, over-the-top characters characters in the animated one than they were in this one, but they felt scarier in that moment.
Yeah,
and
you saw like the big teeth coming at him and stuff.
Yeah,
and
and
then
it
here it looks like we're watching a CG recreation of nature and some hyenas snapping at a lion cub.
They toned down the comedic aspects of the hyenas, but they wanted some of it in there, so it didn't feel like it was fully committed to it.
Stay for dinner? Yeah, stay for dinner. Can you just give me a little bit of space? I'm helping. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Just do it.
Yeah, there's one awkward bit where one of them is in the other's way slightly. Like,
yeah, he
that's
just kept
their
laying,
big laugh.
Well, because it was a callback to when he laid too close to him earlier, and then he was doing it again. Real big chuckles from that one.
Trade roll.
Please give me some space. Where do you want me? I need some personal space.
You were great, but he is woof.
See, now I know you're doing this on purpose.
And then there was the leader one that was Nala's nemesis, Gen Z.
You've been warned, Gen Z.
Yeah, I love when they have their old fight at the end. It's like, yes, the old rivalry. Nala and Gen Z. It's like, do we know each other?
Do we know each other?
Now this is a meal I've waited my whole life for.
I've been waiting too, and I'm not a cub anymore.
There's so many lines that are supposed to be funny in this, and we're looking like the lions watching.
It's going to be dangerous.
Danger? Ha! I laugh in the face of danger.
A lot of this is so muddy looking at points too. It gets too dark. You can't see what's going on. Like, why? But it's something you created entirely. There's nothing you were hampered by like real limitations. You made everything in CG. It can be as bright as you want.
I love this type of lighting too. I think they talk about Gustave Doré, the artist. You know, you have that dark foreground and bright, deep backgrounds that create a very graphic quality.
They have the scene where Nala's sneaking off to go get some help or something or other before she finds Simba. They're trying to be all tense with like Scar's gonna find her and he's sneaking around. Basically, like when Zazu comes out and scares him, he's distracted, like you dangle keys in front of him.
Yeah.
Like he's already on something else. And there was another
He
lion
had her
there.
scent, so he would know it was a lion. He wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Zazu, that must have been the lion I smelled.
Yeah, and there was another lion there, but it wasn't Nala, but I thought it was Nala until she said Nala, and I think it was either Nala's mom or Simba's mom, but I'm not sure which, because all the lions look the damn same in this movie. There's the girl lions and the boy lions, and I got nothing. Even the hyenas, I'm like, which one's which? And then the girl's talking, I'm like, Gen Z. It's Gen Z.
It's Gen Z.
Yeah.
Trouble with even in the original film, the lionesses are designed very similarly. And so it's a good thing we have very distinct voices, but there's a lot of people saying each other's names when they talk to them. Try to help. Nala, yes, Sarabi. People don't do that in real life, but it's one of those things where we do it.
They extended the ending of it, so that felt pretty long. And that was also extra dark because they were silhouetted by the flames.
No reason to do it that way.
They redid the bit where Timon and Pumbaa are distracting the hyenas and they do like the little hula bit, but in this one, they do Be Our Guest, which is pretty emblematic of what Disney does these days because they don't make movies that are about anything. They make movies that are about Disney.
Yeah.
And that's what that was.
Mon cher mademoiselle, we proudly present your dinner. Be our
Did we like anything about this film?
Did we like anything?
I liked when Mufasa died. It was pretty funny. Why are the wildebeest so stupid? Everyone else is just like people, but animals.
Yeah,
and then the wildebeest are just like, we're going to run over and kill the king?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
They're so dumb. Like, this is their king. They should recognize this guy.
Everyone's bowing down to this king. Maybe the other ones, like the wildebeest, they're scared of the king because they eat them.
Yeah, I'm starved. I could eat a whole zebra. And the antelope?
Uh-oh.
Wildebeest and bugs, those are the second-class citizens of the Lion King
It would be
world.
so funny if, like, Simba showed up for revenge and then he died because he was malnourished from eating bugs for years.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it, Simba? Not much.
Wait, we forgot a really good thing that they added when Mufasa dies. Then Scar slaps him in the face, and it was different.
That
than
was
the
a
other
real
one.
change-up. They fixed it. Realistic.
Long live the king!
Oh, wow! Scar just slapped the shit out of me.
You got anything else to say about Lion 2019?
Totally believe this Hamlet with lions now, like I never did before.
They brought the magic of the Lion King to life.
I don't want to be part of their world.
Oh, wait, there was the part where his reflection turns into Mufasa and he just looked the same.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Whoa, look at that. And now look at up in the sky. It's not a lion face in the clouds, because that's not realistic.
And then there was a part where baby Simba, he puts his hand in the paw and he goes, my paw's smaller.
Get it?
And then they just state the themes of the film for the dumb audience.
Who are you?
The question is, who are you?
I'm nobody.
Everybody is somebody, even a nobody. You don't even know who you are.
I know writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Mufasa's like, get over here, Simba. See up there in the heavens. I will conquer the heavens, Simba. I have built a spaceship to take us up there to defeat the Vikings of the past.
If they just did like a hard left turn in the middle of the film and he had a spaceship and all that, like I would respect it. It'd be a lot more interesting than this.
I have to go, Simba. My planet needs me.
Some of this doesn't make a lot of sense until you see the prequel that they did, and then you realize that Mufasa's dad sucked too, and he was just the king of a tree.
Well, that was Scar's father.
I mean, Scar's father, sorry.
Mufasa's adopted dad.
His adopted dad.
That's why Scar had so much to prove. His father was a loser who was the king of one tree.
He died and it started raining. He prevented the rain. What's going on? It makes a lot of sense because Scar's dad sucked too. That's why he sucked.
We all learn that Scar's not his real name.
I won't ever say your name again.
Then call me Scar.
Scar.
Your Majesty.
I don't recommend this, to be honest. We've seen it twice now, which is more than we needed to. It feels very long.
James Earl Jones was very good.
Yeah, he's 86, rocking it in The Lion King, because he's doing the same thing that he did in the first one.
A lot of these lines, you remember, it's like, this is almost the same, though. It's like, he's good, but you're hearing almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
You could have been killed, and what's worse, you put Nala in danger.
You could have been killed, and what's worse, you put Nala in danger.
The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars.
The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars.
Don't watch it. I mean, you can. We're not your boss.
Watch it if you want. We can't tell you what to do. We're not Scar. We're not going to destroy the ecosystem if you don't watch it, or you do.
Review. Like, watch it or don't. I don't care. We have no solid opinion on that.
What are we going to do about it?
Let me simplify this for you. Life is meaningless.
Yes. That's why you do you, Simba.
Fuck us, am I right?
We're just the king of a tree. We can't do anything about it.
Change the reviewer ecosystem. 0 out of 10. Bye.
0 out of 10. Go watch it.
No!
You're the Lion King. Telling Ziggy she's the Lion King.
Give me here. Oop, cat's throwing up. No!
She just can't wait to take a puke.
When I was a young warthog, I almost nailed it. 90%.